agency. So, I've been in life insurance for about 8 years or something of that nature. And I just recently started an actual agency. So it's taken me off of the sales side just a little bit as I'm focusing on building things in on the back end, contracts with different carriers and all type of stuff. So it's kind of tough because I need that sales side because that's how the money rolls. So,
Right, right.
but eventually, that'll change to where I'm focused more on nurturing and guiding and leading other agents to be their best. So it's all good though. But that's been my week and everything. How's your week been doing?
It's been great, man. Still pushing my products out. Sales are still great. In fact, sales are starting to pick up. So I'm wondering if it's attached to this pandemic. People have been told to go in and stay home. I don't know, but
Again,
I'm feeling that.
again.
Man, what you said? I'm feeling that rise in wealth. I'm feeling that. I'm starting to feel that shifting of wealth again. And I'm hearing people still starting new businesses, doing different things. I'm excited, specifically on Clubhouse, this new program, this new app that I'm connected to, and watching people really grow in business. Man, it's like right now, right? It's happening again right now, so people better get on it, because this is what's happening at this moment.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I definitely, I need to get on Clubhouse. I said I was gonna do it a while ago. Then I reneged on that, and I guess I'm gonna do it if my brother from another mother's on there, then I gotta get
Yeah.
on there. You finding value in it, then I gotta jump on there because. But yeah, I've been hearing about a lot of people on there when it comes to building platforms. You can jump in there and you can have thousands of people in a room listening to your shtick, if you will. And so I'm finding a lot of people are really finding that to be valuable. Grand Rising, brother Frank Stoner, once again, Grand Rising. I know I hit the live button online just a little bit late, but it's all good. Either way, man, we got an exciting show today. And really, I want to encourage people out there in Radio Land to give us a call and comment. 502-776-1350. 502-776-1350. I love the caller that called last week. But, I thought about it afterwards and I said, hold up. She said that she went and got the shot, but in the same breath, she's saying that there needs to be more information out there. So what you're trying to tell me is that you don't know that much about it, but you went and got the shot anyway. Uh, the only thing that makes sense in that scenario is fear. Somebody went and got the shot out of fear, and that's what made sense in that scenario. Because if you don't have any information about something, but you're gonna go ahead and go do it, then there's a fear of loss, there's a fear of something going on there as to why you would do that. But either way, always, big shout out to the radio listeners out there. Again, 502-776-1350. We're going to have some casual conversations today about what's going on out there because, I mean, things are changing and they're changing kind of quickly, but it's not it's not the biggest mainstream news. It's like it's out there and you can find it, but everybody's still running around talking about going back to normal. And I'm just sitting here thinking, normal left like a year ago. Normal packed its bags up and walked away and ran and said, peace to all y'all humans on earth. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Normal and common sense actually ran away together. They hanging out somewhere else, but definitely not here in America. That's for sure. What's
Yeah.
what's your thoughts, man? Any amazing things pop up this week?
I'm just kind of watching and observing, and what I'm seeing is something that's I've never seen before. We're living in a time right now that I guarantee is going to go down in history. Our children are going to be talking about this, and the question will become, well, Papa, Grandpa, great grandpa, what did he do during the time? Or what did they do? What did Grandma do during this time of the pandemic? And how did they survive? And it's very important that how we survive is how we pass it down to our children. So we are in a very interesting time that our parents have never seen before. So here we are experiencing some things and getting through some stuff that hopefully we can pass that down to our children. Now, about those who are in this thing called fear, we definitely want you to call in. Those specifically people who are in fear of taking the vaccine, don't want to take it, or you definitely want to call in. Tell us why you feel that you don't want to take it, and what is your fear? Because here's the thing: most people are doing this based upon what they're hearing, not based upon what they research. Unfortunately, we don't read anymore like we used to. We don't research like we should research. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of being a vegan. Most people who are vegan, I'll probably tell you probably 99% of black people who are vegan don't even know why they're vegan other than saying that they eat healthy. They don't have a clue where the word vegan comes from. They don't have a clue what does vegan mean, or the concept of being a vegan. In fact, a lot of people who are vegan are deficient in certain minerals and don't even know it. They don't really do the research on, nor do they research on their bodies. It's like it's a bandwagon to jump on with no research. Then when you come along with some information to combat or show a little different side of that, they get angry and don't want to hear that. So this is where we are in the media today, where the media has control over the people.
As a community, well, I mean, not even as a community, as a country, we're bandwagon people. We're a fad nation. That's what America is. We are a fad nation. I mean, as soon as, elderberry and goji berries and, folks, blackberries is still highest antioxidant value out there. One of the highest antioxidant value. Those other things are great. But, I mean, come on now. You searching high and low to go find that stuff. When blueberries is sitting there right in your freezer, right in the fresh section of the grocery store, the produce section, they come in abundance. Grab them things and eat them. You ain't got to go search out the goji. But we're a fad nation. We focus on fads, and it's all about what's in now. And I mean, you're right. We are bad when it comes to veganism and stuff like that, because I've had some funny conversations with people about that, and they don't know, they don't know what vegetarian means, what vegan means, what pescatarian means, but they'll call it that. When the sad part about it is Google is like the greatest tool you have right now, information wise. You can literally just hit the little button and ask Google a question, and it will give you back an answer. Shout out to Tiandra. She says, my fear is 10 years. In 10 years, I'm going to be laying in bed, flipping channels, and see a commercial that says, if you or anyone you know took a COVID-19 vaccination in 2021, you could be entitled to a compensation. I don't want to be entitled to a compensation. You're right. I don't want to be entitled to that compensation right there, because my arm is dangling and I just can't get it to stop dangling, and I ain't got no feeling in it because of that doggone shot. So that's that. I'm with you on that, Tiana.
She is absolutely right. In fact, I think it's going to be less than 5 years that commercial is going to come out, or something's going to come out regarding that. In less than 5 years, you will see what happens next. And what again, I think for most people, if you're listening to this, you got to understand that the science is not correct. And ever since we've been going through this, it's been up and down, up and down. Well, I beg you to start doing your own research, specifically on your immune system, because I'm hearing this, and this is very interesting. So when you go to the hospital for COVID or any of those symptoms, you know what they end up giving you before they send you home? They give you vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, And what else is that? And vitamin D, right? So if they're giving you that and they're giving it to you, you can go do this on your own. And you can go buy this and start putting this in your body now and build up your immune system so that you can fight off any virus that steps inside your body. This is really common sense. Instead of waiting for the doctor to tell you this, right now you should be building your immune system up with vitamin C, magnesium, vitamin D, and start building up. And look, get some sun. Get as much sun as you can. The sun is awesome.
Listen, I'm gonna give something. I'm gonna give a scenario. I'm gonna say something real quick. That's so common sense. And yes, Jay has. I heard you. We got our guest on the line. 1 second here. I'm gonna bring him in. But you know, vitamin D. Guess what the sun does give you, folks? It gives you an unadulterated dose of vitamin D, right? So somebody knew what they was doing via the human, via the planet, because that's where you get your greatest and best dose of vitamin D, which in fact is the reason why you heard about flu and pneumonia more so during the winter time. Why? Because in those states like Kentucky and others where the sun diminishes more so during the winter time, you have a lack of vitamin D. So what is influenza? It is a lack of vitamin D. Folks, stop playing. This stuff is simple-minded common sense.
It is.
If you literally just pick up a phone and press the Google button and ask it a question, more so than just holding that phone to sit there and look on social media about stupid stuff.
That's right.
And look, all of this you can find at healthdaddywow.net. All right, there you go. Throwing a plug in early. Folks, we want to bring in our special guest here. We got a brother named comedian, brother named Jacie Rowe of Timeless Entertainment with Jacie Rowe. Brother JC, all the way from Los Angeles, 6 a.m. in the morning there. Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show. How you doing, family?
Man, it's all up. Thank you for having me.
Man. All right. You sounding extra mellow. Give me some of that volume. I know you got it. But is that LA mellow? Is that LA laid back? Is that how that go?
Man, it's 6 a.m. in Cali, bro. Just trying to get moving.
I saw you on the StreamYard before, which let me go ahead and bring you in on there. I saw you before, and oh, there you go.
Cannabis is part of our daily regimen out here. That's part of our
I'm gonna let the radio land out there know. My man's is making sure that he is quite medicated and this morning, so it's all good. That's LA, everything's legal, right?
Everything's legal out here, bro. That's how we get down. Like some people do a glass of wine in the morning, some people do a little cannabis. As long as it's good, it's good.
I got you. All right. As much volume as possible. Appreciate you there, family. You sound good. Shout out to Keisha Williams, Grand Rising. Shout out to Joseph Reeves. Good morning, brother. We're talking to some of our social media family there that's watching and listening at the same time. Brother JC, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do, and we'll get into some of the things you have coming up a little bit later.
Okay, well, I'm Jacie Rowe. I've been a political consultant for the last 13 years, running campaigns in Kentucky, Alabama, California, passing laws, just moving power. Wherever I can move power, basically. I worked with the charter school movement. I worked with the Death with Dignity campaign movement. I've definitely worked with the cannabis movement. And just always trying to get people elected to office, to represent themselves and their issues in government. Right now, it feels like so many people, be in the streets yelling and they don't really know how to actually influence government for their own power. And so I like to teach people how to do that.
Got you. So you said you've been in the political arena before. So what space did you accommodate there?
So I mean, back in Louisville, I worked with Congressman John Yarmouth, Brent Atkinson, Councilwoman Sherry Bryan Hamilton.
Okay, hold up. Now you said back
Larry
in
Clark
Louisville. So are you from Louisville, Kentucky?
I actually went to college in Louisville, and so I always like to tell people I cut my teeth politically right there in the South, man, in one of the most liberal cities in the country, and one of the most conservative states in the country, where you literally got people moving that was connected to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X still in the city, and then that's also the home place of Mitch McConnell, which we like to say Mitch McConnell.
man. So that's what's up. So you were in the political arena, and you were out there shouting it up, arms in the air, protesting.
You know what? I wasn't never really a protest guy. In college a little bit, but I'm more like, look, let's sit down with 10 to 12 people. Let's figure out who the power players are. Let's start making phone calls, going to people's house. We setting up dinners and coffees with the legislators, and we're actually having conversations about what we wanted to change. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, that was little stuff like putting together the People's Garden back in Louisville in the West End, and that took a lot of like dinner room conversations. You know what I'm saying? People be protesting on the street, and it's like the point is to get somebody to listen to you, but it's always easy to get people to listen to you with honey versus vinegar. You know, so politics or potty tricks, the art of many tricks, we definitely take advantage of the honey aspects a lot of times.
Now that's a term I haven't heard before, politricks. Which is funny because that sounds like a very simplistic term that I should have heard about 1,000 times already, but I've never heard that before. That's why we reach across the states. That's why we reach across the country and listen to people from other states, because that way we get new slang and new terminology with that going on. But listen, you're a comedian as well, right?
Yeah, so that's been a beautiful thing, man. Like transitioning from the politics to the comedy life and entertainment life. So out here in California, we do the Jacie Comedy Show. We recently had a nice event with Dwayne Wiggins, founder of Tony Tone Tone, right here in Oakland, California. Sold out show, and we're doing another block party today in Oakland, California. And so we're expecting, the whole community come out, politicians to be there. We're going to have music, comedy, jazz. I mean, just the whole nine.
So you have a show. Go ahead, John.
Let me ask you a question dealing with the politics or the politricks. Have you, people like yourself has been involved with the politics and everything for the years. Have you seen really any real changes that politicians have really made over the years? Have you seen changes that works, and is politics the way to go to improve our lives?
I love the question, John. Yeah, I love the freaking question. Not at all. And I hate to say that because I don't want to be the discouragement factor for those in the game of power. But nah, man, they lied, they tripped. David Axelrod, who was one of the political advisors for Barack Obama, earned like $200 million in 2008 as one of his campaign advisors, right? Just on the campaign front before Obama even got elected. He put on Twitter the other day, he was like, I wonder if we're going to burn in hell because we've ignored climate change for so long. Oh, it looks like California's already burning. And I'm like, you think this is funny, dude, but you was influencing the president of the United States for 8 years. So when you say we ignore climate change, you literally mean you ignore climate change while you had the power to make a difference. You were not thinking about it. You were not focused on it. And now, yes, California is burning. Oregon is burning. The whole West Coast is burning. Because the people in power were not listening, almost like they're little children. You're not listening, right? And they were not caring. And that's the hard part, but that's also why I feel like I had to transition into the entertainment world, because it's like, look, everybody's listening to comedians, for better or for worse. They're not listening to the power players. If Martin Luther King or Malcolm X was alive today, they would be hated. They would not be famous. Social media would have been canceled them. Like, that's just the game we in, and the politicians aren't representing people. And I mean, I'm of the thought that Rome is burning, and it didn't take a day to fall. And right now we're just watching it crumble, and everything from them trying to institute these Nazi freedom passes with the vaccines to literally the environment collapsing all around us and the economy collapsing all around us, and certain creators actually bouncing back and bringing products to life and putting them into the world's focus without having to have like an overseer. I think all of that's part of this like powerful transition that's happening right now. And I don't think that white people can do anything about it. That's why I stopped using the word white supremacy, because I'm like, they not supreme at any. This is just white people supremacy.
Awesome. That's a great point. That's exactly right. I agree with you. Let me ask you this question in California. How's it going with this vaccine mandate? Do y'all have any mandates they doing there? Are they shutting down restaurants or making people have a pass to get in restaurants? What's happening there?
Yeah, so it's a mix, right? LA is definitely on some New York stuff right now where they're trying to make it a mandate across the city that you need your vaccine freedom paper to go into a restaurant or go into a gym. Oakland is a little mixed where certain restaurants are doing it, certain restaurants are like, no, we're not doing that. And the reality is, if a restaurant is banning basically half the population for not being vaccinated, they're cutting their own money. So what they don't understand, the government is not on your side when they want you to ban half the population from coming to your restaurant. They're trying to help people go broke, right? And the second piece on that, if you're really vaccinated and you believe that this is going to protect you, why are you so afraid? Like, why are you so afraid of people coming around you unvaccinated to come have a burger or a waffle or dinner next to you when the vaccine's supposed to protect you? That just blows my mind.
But here's the thing. The CDC has now admitted that you can still get the Delta variant or whatever, and you can still spread it as a vaccinated person. The CDC has admitted that. That's right on their website. So with that in mind, I mean, there's no different between them and an unvaccinated person, except they have a PC controller chip inside of them, a potential smart button that somebody's gonna press one day, and you go out and act like a robot.
You mentioned Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, referencing them to some of our leaders or people that people listen to. Let me ask you this question: with this pandemic going on, and I think, and this is a comment also with the question behind it. I think this is where you're going to be able to separate the weak from the lions. And those who talk that black talk and really talking real strong black talk, where are they at when they come to talk about this vaccine, or where are they at when they talk about these mandates? Are they voicing their opinion against it? Either two things: either they are afraid to, or they're for it. Are they leading, or do they believe in the vaccine and leading people to line up for the vaccine, or are they out there telling people not to get the vaccine, to fight against this? Because here's the thing: I'm waiting for the revolution. We're already in the middle of the revolution. We're already in it right now. People don't get it, that this is about a revolution that's taking place at this moment. I'm waiting to see if New York gonna tear the city up. I'm waiting to see if people who are gonna be told that they can't go in restaurants. But listen to this: it's gonna go further than that. It's gonna be not only in restaurants, it's gonna be in private, in transportation, public transportation, buses, trains, planes, right? Even cabs are gonna pick it up. The question is, when are people gonna get fed up and start tearing up shit? Because it happened in New Zealand, where they told students they could not go back to school. Guess what they started doing? Them students started to tear shit up, and they finally said, "Oh, hold up, no, we're gonna reverse that. We're gonna no, because we kind of went the wrong way, right?" This is what it's gonna take people to wake up. There's going to have to be a fight. It's going to be us against them. Right now, they are also having a hotline where you can call on people who haven't taken the vaccine, and you can get compensated for that. So I guess I'm asking in that question, those who you called black leaders and stuff, where are they stance on that?
Man, we can ask that question to the church. And you know what, John? I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe that the reason why, when you start talking about these pro-black, like, the serious, the bays, the bins, the X's, when you start talking about them, then I think a lot of them sometimes they're just thinking black and white, literally. So they're not noticing that this is a revolution because it's not black against white. It's the government, the elite against the people. So they're waiting for a black and white thing, which, you know, by the way, folks, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure if we would win a black and white thing because we don't own no Smith and Wessons manufacturers. We don't own no gun companies. We don't own the water supply. We will be back to sheets and towels around our waist and sharpened sticks. Okay, if it ever broke down like that, because we don't have any control over any of our vital anything. Now, we are a great people, and we shall overcome, right? But I'm just saying, if it broke down to a race war, so y'all need to get that out your head about that. That's not the issue.
Yeah,
the issue is
government versus the people.
Go ahead, man.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be the government versus the people. Like, it's going to
well, that's what it is, and that's what it's always been, and that's what the supremacists and nationalists and all that's what they're fighting for.
Yeah. Go ahead and complete that thought, brother. Yeah. What was you saying?
No, I was just saying, I think that people are going to come together against the government because that's the thing right now, and it's not even like conservative versus liberals. Because the funny thing is, I'm finding the liberals a lot of times are trying to be more Nazi-ish when it comes to these rules. It's in these cities. New York is one of the most quote unquote liberal cities in the country, right? LA is one of the most liberal cities in the country, and that's where they're trying to implement these like freedom paper rules, and it's blowing my mind, bro. It's like the country's being led by fear, and that's really what it is. It's the people who are scared who need the government to protect them versus the people who are like, we're going to take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, out in Oakland, like I said, a lot of people I still know unvaccinated, but cats is just willing to risk it. Like, look, if I get sick, I'm going to be like, hopefully, the 34.4 million people in America who already got COVID and survived. That's the numbers, right? Like, they're always like, 600,000 people died. 34.5 million people survived. Like, I'm not.
Well, see,
this is not something that we scared of. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, I joke about this all the time, but it's very true. Like as a human, if we ever had to compete on a universal scale, put me up to represent you. I'm like apex predator, bro. Like if it's me versus the virus, I'm going to survive. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of humans out there that think like that. Like, look, my body's meant to be here on Earth. I'm from Earth, and I'm going to live on Earth. Yo. Like, I don't need your robotic function just to exist on the planet that was made for me. You know?
Man,
so
go ahead, John.
Back to one of those issues of talking about leaders. The so-called, and I don't want to call no names out, but I will. Is those
I'm laughing because I know.
Hey, call them out.
Call them out. You know, you can mention Cosby. You can mention you can mention. Listen, you know, let's figure out where Pastor Bruce is. Let's figure out where Finley is. You know.
Well, people be anxious for stuff that they don't even know, right? Like, you know, the Pfizer CEO doesn't have the vaccine. How many vaccines has he sold around the world? 1 billion? He just got denied entrance into Israel on some freedom paper stuff because he didn't have his vaccination paper. And so I'm like, you got people on TV dancing, doing hip-hop commercials trying to get black people to take the vaccine, but the leader of the vaccine company hasn't taken the vaccine.
Why is it?
I'm like, y'all talk to me after he put it in his body, his family body.
I mean, when the first dose was created, they should have all just had needles in their hand and turned around and poked themselves. Like, you know what I mean? But you're trying to get millions of people out here to do this. And the CEO,
all the presidents was in the
bruh, you're absolutely right. They're trying to get people to do this, and the CEO didn't take it. Now, you know, I know, you know, we say the same thing. We say he didn't take it because he knows what's in it. That's the first thought that should come to anybody's mind with any level of common sense. That's the first thought that should come to your mind. Absolutely. but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking like, hold up, man, that's a little bit too. That's too obvious. Like for that to even make the news. I mean, I'm just trying to think why was because if I'm the CEO of Pfizer, I'm trying to pay some money to get that not to make the news, right? Because that shouldn't make the news. I mean, so to me, it's too obvious to me. Actually, it's kind of interesting when we say that, but I don't know, man. That right there, when I saw that, I said that's wild. The CEO of Pfizer doesn't even have any. It says fully vaccinated, so that means he probably maybe took the first shot, but hasn't taken the second. What's the holdup? What's the second? And then look, they talking about a third one. Hey, you know what the third one is? The third one is an update. The third one's an update. That's what the third shot is. It's an update. They got to update the server, whatever. Did we got a caller come on the line? Did I hear that? No, I guess not. I guess I didn't hear that. Yeah, it might be COVID ringing in my ears. But either way, you know, it's all just kind of crazy when you really think about it. You know, what is this? People say why? I'm looking at social media. People say why does a quarter stick to the arm after the vaccine is taken? Have we figured out that that's even true?
You know, I'm not sure. I know people were talking about that and showing some stuff on social media. I'm not surprised of that. However, you know, I don't know because I've never seen nobody actually.
I mean, I think there's mercury in there, right?
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Actually, there's a whole host of stuff. But here's the thing: there's been a whistleblower that came out of Pfizer, a white woman that was part of the group of putting together the vaccine. She became the whistleblower and mentioning several agents that are inside the vaccine that is harmful and it's very toxic. Now, Pfizer didn't deny it. Pfizer just turned around and said that it wasn't toxic. But when you look up this agent, when you look it up, you find that it's toxic. Not only is it toxic to you, it lowers your immune system. It's just this is what this is about. It's about lowering your immune system to keep you ill and sick so that you can get sick easily on certain things, very easily, because they want you on some type of pharmaceuticals. This is the way they control the people, right? So, you know, understanding that is one thing. I like to get back to, and I only know, I need to know who's out there speaking against it, because here's the thing. We got to understand who our enemies are. It's going to be white people that's going to be standing up and fighting against this, right? And we got to know how to join and create allies with people who are fighting against it. On Clubhouse, there's a whole host of people. There are doctors on Clubhouse talking against this vaccine and what people need to do to improve their health. Right now, there's a whole host of white people. Black people just sitting around kind of like watching, and some black people who have the stigma of not liking white people because of this struggle will back away from that. But it's white people that's going to run up in the government's face and says, hell no, we ain't shutting down.
They already did it.
Right. They the ones going to do that.
We tried to say they were crazy for doing it. But no, bro, they did it because that's what they believe in. You know, they believe in, look, the government works for us, not the other way around. But we as a people, predominantly, which is why we continue with the battered wife syndrome, and we continue to vote 90-something% Democrat blindly for the last 50 years. We continue that because we're just sitting and watching. We're not really involved. We're looking for somebody to take care of us. Why? Because that's the way they trained us. That's what they did. They came out with these programs and everything else, and now we still sucking on masses' teeth, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the handouts and everything. So once again, we got bamboozled. Once again, y'all said, oh, we can't have Trump in there because he just keep talking this and talking that. Man, screw what Trump says. I'm all about what he did. And I can show you some things, and plenty of us can show you some things that he did that opened the door for more of us than I've ever seen other presidents before. But y'all was so focused on what he said. And here we go. We got Biden, this 150-year-old man, that hobbles his way to the podium from time to time and says some of the dumbest things, and now is just sitting here with handouts after handouts after handouts after handouts. And that's what we want. We just want handouts, and it's annoying because we're not really participating, right? So I'm gonna read this right here. Socioeconomic, and it's the plantation trying not to burn. The military is trained to fire on Americans like they did in Champaign back in the 60s and 70s. My bruh told me about when he was a kid and the tanks came down his street and the military killed his father and other black stone peas. Let's tell it all, fam. That's from your brother Joseph Reeves. And once again, Miss Washington, the fact that they are bribing people to take it is what bothers me. What's in it? Because y'all want people to take it so bad. And that's the thing that points out to a level of common sense that I feel like people are losing when it comes to this. Because common sense should tell you that, they are just going out of their way with lotteries and you're going to get fired. I know people right now at Norton's that they got till September to take the shot or else they lose their job. People with kids that have to do that, that in their culture, they eat healthy. I know a foreign girl, her culture, they eat a lot healthier with more veggies and whatnot and this, that, and the other. They're not really worried about catching COVID, but it's just crazy. I know this stuff right now, and this stuff is happening. And in other job spaces, people are being encouraged. Now, when I say encouraged, I mean like they leaning on you to say, hey, you should take the shots. You should get the vaccine. This stuff is crazy. It's crazy. But one thing that's not crazy is the Abibi Toomey Trading Company, home of Saya Baba and Soap Sticks products. They are in over 400 locations at a store near you. You can find it at sayababa.com. Folks, that is SYABABA, sayababa.com, owned by yours truly, Brother John Ya. And remember, our brother Frank Stoner, who commented earlier about healthdaddywow.net. Guess what? That's the home of the 100% plant-based vitamins, herbs, cleanses, and teas. They are here to help you live longer, feel better, look great. Folks, in Louisville, they're right at 1806 Ralph Avenue between Tuesday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. You have no excuse for not making it out there. Folks, you can get everything you need health-wise right there at healthdaddywow.net. So even in LA, you can jump online and you can order stuff from healthdaddywow.net. I done watched him push the stuff in the peels and whatnot. He makes it himself. With that in mind, folks, I
think we got a caller.
Do we got a caller?
Yeah. You got two of them, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, bring one of them in.
Good morning, fellas. This is Uncle Meeshorn. How y'all doing?
Hey, good morning, Uncle Meeshorn. Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show.
Hey, listen up. You all done dropped out a whole lot of stuff out there, so I'm going to try to make it quick so I can actually tie in with everything you said. First of all, I want to address this. I am 60 years old, and I'm an individual, okay? And I have free will born in America. So I've chosen for me and my house to take the shot. Now, that don't make me stupid or crazy or anything. I work in the medical field, and I've chosen to take that responsibility because my loyalty is not no longer to anybody else, but my loyalty is to my choices and my intelligence and my God. But, I have a disappointment when people think just because you're taking the shot, you're supposed to be stupid or you some sheep or something like that. I don't buy into that, okay? That's my individual responsibility in my household. One. Two, I also believe that there is a problem when our demographic of people are led like sheep, loyal to one demographic of politics, and then you whine and cry about why you're in the condition that you're in. Three, when I came out in 1990, I saw the sheep that was loyal to the Democratic Party. I chose to go the opposite way. 30 years later, I see the same sheep still in the conditions that they're in. So again, I had free will and made my own decision, and my wife is living well. So I say, truth be told, I made some good decisions. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. As he plugged another show. That's awesome. I like that. Hey, we got another caller. Is the caller still on the line? Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show. Hello? Caller, you there?
Go ahead, caller. Yes, sir. Let me give you some information. I guess about 3 months ago, I was watching online where if you take a small magnet, very small magnet, and put it at the hole where the needle was stuck in it, the metal, that magnet will stick to your arm. Magnet only sticks to metal, not skin, not wood, not plastic. But if you take a small magnet, put it to where the stuck the needle in, it will stick to your arm. That tells me that's like an antenna. Just like you were saying earlier about if someday the government might flip a switch and you start dancing for some reason. Okay? So what's the first? I like how you said, what's in it? Because like I said, I had to take it or get out of the house in my case. Okay? But like I say, what is in it? And have you tried that technique? Take a magnet, put it to your arm where the needle was stuck at. And the magnet will stick to that metal in your arm.
Have you tried it yet?
Yes, I tried it. I told other people about it. I was at the Juneteenth celebration just recently. Now, I was telling people up there about it, and they were shocked to take them. I had a magnet with me. They put it to their arm, and it stuck to their arm.
So let me ask you a question. Without an ingredients list, what made you go take the jab? What made you go get the shot?
Or get put out of the house.
What happened?
I had to either take the shot or get put out of the house.
Really?
Wow.
When you say put out of the house, what house are you in? Is it your own or?
No, it was one of my kinfolk's house.
Wow.
You know, because he's retired. You know what I'm saying? He was, like I said, the pandemic is scary. It reminds me of that old 1978 movie called Three the Hard Way, where Jim Brown, Fred Williams, and Jim Kelly went to Africa to stop the white man from putting a germ inside the water reservoir to kill the black people only.
Man.
Because there are techniques in killing black people only. Heat-seeking bullets to kill black people only. Bullets! They can only kill black people. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of that gentrification and genocide.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just black people. It's just anyone is.
Well, it was a white guy that did the. I saw it from a white guy. So it's everybody. They're just getting rid of people. Simple as that.
I think it's anyone who's ignorant enough to stay uninformed is where that heat-seeking missile is going after. Well, caller, listen, thank you for calling in, man. You dropped some info on us today. Thanks again. Thank you for listening as well.
Thank you. And you try it too. You try it yourself.
Oh, I will never try it because I will never get the shot. So
not the shot, the magnet. Oh, we gotta get the shot first.
Yeah, exactly.
Got the shot, get a
all right.
magnet.
Hey, J-Harris, take us out.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. You know what? I wish I could take J-Harris with me everywhere.
Did he say we have another caller?
Yes, you do.
All right. Well, caller, bring him on in. Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show, caller.
Yes, thanks for taking my call. I do agree with you on a couple things on that plan. You know how our minds has been trained what to do, and some of us are scared to get off that plantation. And the one that's off that plantation that speaks up, we are Uncle Toms or we crazy. But I'm glad you brought that up. And I have not took that shot because you got about 10 doctors saying 10 different things. And another reason I haven't took it, Joe and Kamala Harris said they wouldn't take it or think about not taking it, and Donald Trump had something to do with it. But now since they're in office, now they want everybody to take the shot. Now, if they want me to take it, they got to get those folks on that border to start taking that shot too. That where those folks are coming in illegal, 210,000 last month. If they want me to take it, they got to get them to start taking it too.
Let me ask you a question, sir. let me ask you a question. If you're not taking a shot, I really commend you on that, and I commend you having the mindset to where you questioning things. But let me ask you this: where do you go from here, and what do you do? How do you plan, and what do you do from here in planning to keep your life straight and what they're trying to do to put these mandates? What is your thoughts?
I do wear the mask, and I try to keep my distance. But I just pray that God will lead me in the right direction, because I'm calling on Him, because man has got us in this predicament. Not Donald Trump, man, the politicians and the scientists have got a lot of us confused. And now they not even bringing up China. If you bring China up, that's a bad word. You prejudice or racism. But China got this ball to rolling, and I think they ought to hold their foot to the fire. It's not right what's going on. And these politicians need to start doing their job as well as these scientists, because I'm all confused. So I'm just praying. I haven't prayed so much in the last 6 months. My knees are hurting, and I know I have arthritis, but
that's good, because you with all that praying, you praying for some of us that don't really even believe in prayer. So that's good. Man, I thank you so much, caller, for calling in. Listen, I want you to listen up to the radio, wherever you're listening from, as we cut you off here. I want you to listen, because I'm about to drop something real quick. I want you guys to listen to. All right, now, is this true or not? I don't know, but I want y'all to listen to this. And so the cookie crumbles. Daylight killers, the mask begin to fall off. The Chinese biological laboratory in Wuhan is owned by GlaxoSmithKline, which accidentally owns Pfizer, the one who makes the vaccine against the virus, which was accidentally started at the Wuhan Biological Lab, and which was accidentally funded by Dr. Fauci, who accidentally promotes the vaccine. GlaxoSmithKline is accidentally managed by the finance division of BlackRock, which accidentally manages the finances of the Open Foundation company, which is George Soros Foundation, which accidentally manages the French AXA. Soros accidentally owns the German company Winterthur, which accidentally built a Chinese laboratory in Wuhan and was bought by the German Alliance, which coincidentally has Vanguard as a shareholder, who coincidentally is a shareholder of BlackRock, which coincidentally controls central banks and manages about a third of global investment capital. BlackRock is also coincidentally a major shareholder of Microsoft, owned by Bill Gates, who coincidentally is a shareholder of Pfizer, which, remember, sells a miracle vaccine, and coincidentally is now the first sponsor of the WHO. So now you understand how a dead bat sold in a wet market in China has infected the whole planet. So, I don't know if that's true. But I tell you what, it sounds damn good. And from what I'm hearing, even out online and those that do a lot of research, it's 100% accurate. So there's a lot of coincidences. There's a lot of accidentals in there. Folks, listen, as far as I'm concerned, this was all stuff that was created. I know some people that think this was done by the aliens, and the aliens, are preparing us, injecting us with something to prepare us for something to come. I don't know. I just know that the human body is amazing.
So focused, bro.
Say it again.
Yeah.
I be so focused, bro. It's almost like that's all way too much. That's all way too much. Like I'm so old school with it. I almost pretend like a lot of the news don't exist. That's nothing about transition and comedy. Like, I be in the backyard with my little ones in the garden. We grow our tomatoes, we grow our basil, we grow our parsley and stuff for our cheese. Like, we just, Marin got hurt, my man who's praying all the time. He's talking about his knees hurt. In my mind, I'm like, he don't have enough iron in his system. That's why his knees hurt. It don't have nothing to do with prayer. Like, he's deficient of freaking nutrients.
Get some grapeseed extract in
like,
his life, some romaine, some pineapple in his life.
It's a South American spinach. Yeah, moringa is a South American spinach. Basically, gotta fix that man needs in a week. If he starts taking a little bit of moringa every morning, put it in his oatmeal, his pancakes, I'm sure he's eating bad. Waffles with his little bit of butter.
You hear that, brother? I hope you listening. I hope you still listening. Moringa, sprinkle it in your oatmeal, sprinkle it in your water, sprinkle it in your juice. You know that sweet iced tea that you be drinking? Sprinkle it in there as well. Maybe it'll counteract some of that sugar.
Get up and do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people need to get off their knees and start going to work on themselves. Like, if your body's the temple of God, go to work. Put some construction in that mud.
Oh, man. Are you talking
like,
church?
Like,
are you talking church now, JC? Your body's the temple of God.
Saying, like, people get on my nerves, especially because you got people who never took care of their body their whole life, and now they're vaccinated. They're like, I'm healthy because I'm vaccinated. You can't even walk. Like,
man,
you know, basic stuff is walking 20 minutes 3 times a week. But I'm like, bro, that's just blood flow. When somebody got to tell you to walk, to exercise, they're basically saying your blood is not moving. So if you're going to develop a tumor, it's in a perfect environment of that stagnant
coagulated
body
blood
that's not moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to run, they got to sweat.
Man, I got on the elevator with somebody the other day. Hey, look, she was 8 times my size. She got on the elevator. She said, do you need me to wear my mask? I'm fully vaccinated. I got my vaccine card if you need to see it. I said, no. But I got off the elevator because I didn't want it to fall. I was worried about the weight at that point. But my big thing is, my point to that is just like walking into a Blaze Pizza on Shelbyville Road and a 400-pound guy yell at one of my partners to say, hey, you need to put your mask on. And then a week later, we walk in, the mandates are done, and, you know, he ain't got to yell that. But just think about that. 400-pound dude yelling out, you got to put your mask on. Dude, you're going to die from heart disease. Like, stop playing. You know what I mean? Stop playing.
It's killer in America right now. You know what I'm saying?
Let me
people got to take their health way more vigilant. And I think that if you do, you wouldn't be so dependent on the government to protect you and keep. It's like, when has the government not stopping to sell us cigarettes or Hennessy or beer or Four Locals? You know what I'm saying? The government is selling whatever they want to kill us, and all of a sudden they're in the interest of us living. No.
Oh God, bro.
Like,
yes. Yes.
Like, people got to be in the interest, their own interest for living. Like, people got to be vigilant about their own health. And the thing about the little ones can't take the vaccine, even if it was perfect. So you should want to be healthy to keep your children healthy, to prepare them for not this pandemic, but the next 60 pandemics that we might go through over the next 100 years. That's what people need to be preparing their bodies for. And I know every time somebody be like, you need to take the vaccine, I'm like, bro, I'm not immunocompromised. If you are, you should do what you have to do for you. I support everybody making a decision for them. Like the brother Misha, if they took it, good for you, brother. If that's what you need to do, good for you. But I'm so American with mine. I believe everybody have the right to do whatever they feel like they need to do that's best for them and their family. And I don't think I have a right to impose my views on you, and you don't have a right to impose your views on me. And that's the problem I think we get in this country, where people are like, no, you have to do this for my safety. You need to worry about your own safety and not think about me in that context. You know what I'm saying? If the vaccine is not keeping you safe, that sounds like a personal problem, because you're the one to decide to take it. My family, even if we get COVID, we'll be okay. We're going to ride that through, get the antibodies, and we'll be stronger for the next round. For the E variant instead of the D variant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Go ahead, John.
I know people, I don't think worried about it.
We coming short up on time for the first for the radio section of things. Go ahead, John. Drop something on us.
Yeah, you know, real quick on the callers that we just had, it's very interesting, and I think again, those who have already taken the shot, they mainly did it out of fear. They did not do that out of research and using their intellectual minds. They only did it out of fear, because why? Fear creates the stress hormone, and it makes you hurry up and run, go do something, and you will justify whatever you did it. Whether you justified you're gonna get kicked out of your house, whether you justified it did it for your family. But here's the thing. And here's the thing about why we're rushing to this judgment. Imagine a year from now, while they're still working on a better vaccine, another company comes out with one better that actually I would rather wait than to push the fear and me take the experimental. And I don't even believe it's experimental. I believe they know what they're doing from the very beginning, that they're giving you something to lower your immune system, because now you got to take this for the rest of your life. Every year there's going to be a new variant. Every year there's going to be a new strain, sometimes maybe twice a year, and they got you. Now you got to take it for the rest of your life instead of making the argument of improving your health and your immune system to fight off whatever variant your body comes into. Here's where the problem is going to come in. Those of you who have taken the vaccine are going to be finding yourself in opposition to those who haven't. You know why? Because they're going to tell you who believed it in the first place, they're going to tell you that the reason why this virus won't go away is because of those who don't want to take it. Now your ass is going to get mad and dislike people who refuse to take it, and you're going to be the one picking up the phone and calling on other people. You see, that's going to be the problem. So my thing is this: if you taking the shot, good for you. Move on and continue that process while we're trying to teach and talk to those who don't want to take it and in fear of taking it. That we're trying to teach them they shouldn't take it, they shouldn't have to take it, but they need to improve their health. So just the same as I ain't trying to dog nobody taking it. If you already took it, you took it. I need to talk to the people who haven't taken it and don't want to take it, and what we're going to do and how we're going to band together to improve our wealth. Because the only way you can get out of this, your poverty, is wealth. So how can we improve our wealth, and how can we improve our health? That's who I want to talk to. I really am clueless to want to talk to someone that's already taken it, because why? You will follow what that tells me is that you will follow whatever they tell you. And if they tell you to tell on the next person who haven't did it, or if they tell you that the reason why this haven't gone nowhere is because of those who haven't taken the shot, you are going to be the one that's going to be pointing the finger at others. So it's not going to be black against white or black people against black people. Now it's going to be vaccinated people against unvaccinated people. That's what's coming next.
Absolutely, and you already see it happening already. I mean, they're in your own household. But listen, folks. Once again, this has been another episode of the Tipping Point Morning Show. We're going to continue on with the online version of this, which you guys can always check us out on Facebook at the Tipping Point Radio Show. You can check us out on YouTube. Just throw a hashtag in there, hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show. You'll find us. And again, JC, real quick, shoot out real quick. You got like 30 seconds to shoot out the event that you got coming up.
Yeah, so Melody's Block Parties in Oakland, California today, joined together by More Than Market Collection Media and the Jacie Comedy Show. If you're ever in Oakland, California, come through 246 Grand to our Jacie Comedy Show Club and check us out here for good music, some good comedy, and just get some of this California love. Good.
All right, folks. Once again, we'll see you next week right here on WLOU and WLOUonline.com.
Peace out and be well.
All right, now we're going to continue with the online version of this. Back out and come back.
Yeah, that was dope.
All right, and everybody's here. Brothers, y'all there?
Yeah, man, that was fire, bro.
You there, John? Man, I still don't have no sound from you, bro. Man, okay, all right. I'm just reading lips at this point. Let's see here.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
I just want to do that one more time because it's so dope.
That's
But
just fine, bro.
hey, appreciate it. I figured it out by accident. It's the way great things happen these days. Is you figure it out by accident. Now I'm
That'd be
not
the
taking
best
the
thing.
I'm not taking this online portion too long. Normally we might go for a good hour or so on the online portion here. But I'm gonna go for about 15 minutes because we got some things that we got to get into out here in this world,
Yes, sir.
and we'll keep it moving. But man, I appreciate you coming on, man. You're still wiping the sleep out your eyes, man. I appreciate that.
Look, I appreciate you having me.
You
For
know,
real.
if it wasn't for the wake and bake, I don't know.
Look, that's the wake and bake is the coffee, bro. That's what that do.
Absolutely. There's
Like,
nothing
I got
wrong
a
with that.
little
Let's
bubble
see here.
tush, little runs, get you going
Okay.
right.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
All right. Cool. So there we go. All right. So, now, like I said, we're just gonna be here for a quick little minute, 15 minutes or so. And just to continue any of this conversation, man, there was a lot that we went over, a lot that we talked about. But something somebody else said, which I thought was interesting. Do you realize how an EMP will affect the magnetic effect? I've been hearing EMP talk for years, right? When have we ever released an EMP? Does anybody know?
I mean, outside of the movies, no.
Exactly. Like I've never, and that's not to down it because it's a real thing. It's a real possibility. It's a button that can be pressed and whatnot.
It's
They
an
do it.
interesting thought, right? And it could be the wake and bake, but I'm like, yeah, I guess he's leading on. Mr. Reeves is leading on, like, if the magnet can affect your heart, right? Because the heart is an electric system anyway, and then the EMP can basically turn it off, and so you can be turning off people's hearts potentially with the press of a button.
So my man says he built it. Now Jay Reeves was in the military. So he must have been part of a particular department that built it. And so I know a lot of people. Like my uncle used to work for the NSA, and my other uncle used to call him a spy, facetiously. But my uncle did know about Area 51 and all that stuff. Now that's another interesting topic there. Have y'all noticed how they're starting to unleash information about alien stuff?
Yeah, that's just funny.
Like declassified files and all type of stuff is coming out.
It's all part of the Romans burning, bro. They trying to get all this stuff out before it's over.
But who's getting it out? Is it? Is the government saying, at least maybe we'll help the people, get used to some of this stuff, so that when the big thing happens, which I don't know, maybe an alien invasion is the big thing. I don't know. That's what some people think, man, and it could be. But I'm just sitting back here and I'm watching this and I'm looking at everything. John, the joint you posted the other day where somebody said the mark of the beast, it was your boy from New York, talking about, the fact that, hey, if you don't have this all access, whatever for New York, I don't know what form they're going to have it in, whether it's going to be a card or whether it's going to be a chip or whether it's going to be, what's already in your arm, because I think you can take like a black light or something and see that you took the vaccine or something. But, they're creating some type of all access thing that says, hey, if you ain't got this, you going to have a bored life in New York. You're not going to get to enjoy New York. So, in other states, like you said, JC, Cali is looking to potentially follow suit with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, we need to be like, what's that group? The crazy group that goes around with the protest and just start stuff. What was it called?
QAnon or something.
Black Lives Matter.
That one too.
That one too. The ones that was with it was the white people. They be going around to.
I think it's the QAnon, the anonymous group.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Antigua or something like
Antifa,
that.
Antifa. Yeah.
Anti-fascist.
Like now we need Antifa. All right, we need them to go to New York and start some shit to get people to do some shit so that we can accomplish some shit.
Yeah, well, all of those are distractions. And here's what you and I have been talking about since the pandemic started. That all of this information, even with Breonna, all of this with the marching, even with what's that Negroes that don't take no shit. The gun. Yeah, niggas that don't take no shit. So all these are distractions. While we are easily distracted with trigger words like police officer killed black person, another black person killed by police officer. See, we're distracted with trigger words that draw all of our attention, while there's something else is going on the other end. While they were putting together this whole thing, we was distracted. And so as long as we're distracted, see, there's a thing called big hats and small hats. And this is very interesting about the big hat people. The big hat people is the people who are running the pharmaceutical companies and are running FDA, running CDC. These are the people that are running this particular type of genre of what they're trying to put forth, not only United States, but all over the world. And so then you got the little hat people. So the little hat people are the people who believe in what the big hat people are saying. Also, the big hat people are also who own all the media. So then you got the little hat people. So now the big hat people, all they got to do is put out the information. It's the little hat people that's going to enforce it. Right. And so what we are having here is going to be called another division. This is why I pointed out to where who are these so-called people that are talking in behalf. Let me give you an example. Now, listen to this, Joe. And I'm going to try to have his sister on. Hopefully I can try to get on next week. So next week is Marcus Garvey celebration, right? The 14th. And so probably, I don't know about all over the country, but here in Louisville, we celebrate Marcus Garvey. As Sister Layla puts on an event about Marcus Garvey. Now look at what Marcus Garvey stood for. Those of you know who Marcus Garvey, he stood for everything that was anti-United States, anti-government. He was about the people. He wasn't about no religious belief system. He was about pooling together money and trying to get people's resources to get out this country. This is what Marcus Garvey was about. So now we got a Marcus Garvey event coming up, and look who's involved. You got Reverend Cosby, you got Reverend Lyons, you got most of these Negro preachers who are not anti-government to speaking at the behalf of Marcus Garvey. Now he's got to be turning over his grave, right? Because they're not in alignment with Marcus Garvey and Pan-African studies. So what we have in here is you got little hat people taking over for little hat people stuff. And so guess what they also pushing? They're also pushing vaccine. And you know damn well no Marcus Garvey will be about no vaccine, right? But since it's about Marcus Garvey and we under the consciousness of the thought of someone black, we follow it. Because why? If you continue to push that trigger, black trigger in our face, and those who are caught up into that will follow that. Again, another example, how we get upset when it comes to a black issue, when it's not about the black issue. Those are things they sprinkle to us to move us emotionally into a certain area. And I guarantee you, every time there's a riot, every time there's a situation about an uprise for black people, someone somewhere is making investments that this is going to take place. Somebody somewhere is cashing in on this. I've learned this even in my business during the pandemic, that my business soared. And it soared amongst the black community. I mean, my business tripled. And what I sell incense. I sell fragrances that I import from China and India, right? And so my sales went up 3 times. Why? Because there was something going on that triggered black people to go into hell in the house. And so based on that, sales went up for my products. Reefer sales went up, cigarette sales went up, rolling papers went up, liquor went up. Somebody's investing on this demise and they're winning money. We don't get it because we follow our emotions. Just like everybody who came on here and talked about they took the shot based on their emotion, which was misguided and misled by false information that put them in fear. Well, what is fear? Fear is an emotion. right? And so here they'll push these little triggers, and we'll go out and we'll march and we'll tear up other people's shit, but we won't build up nothing. We won't look at our individual life and how to create our own wealth, right? We won't talk about those things. Joe, you and I always got something on here about Forex, about trading, about business, you know, and how many people are more caught up if we were talking about Black Lives Matter? Hey, another police killed another person. You know how many people we'll have in here? But when we're talking about building some fucking wealth, everybody's deaf now. Like, because we're not
people are afraid of the economic conversation.
It's just like, I mean, you do a Facebook post, if it's about racism or some crap like that, guess what? Everybody's into it. They want to comment and talk about it. But when it's about business, when it's about moving forward as a people, not as a race, but as a people, when it's about even moving forward as a black people, you know, you more pressed to get people commenting and talking if it's about race or somebody did something to us or somebody did something to one of us or this, that, and the other. That type of talk gets us nowhere. It just keeps talking about that talk, but it doesn't get us anywhere, which is crazy. You know, and when you start talking government, the government has been doing this for many years. They're big bullies, and we've allowed them to do it. And I don't know if it's because of the fact that we have a military where people are more scared. I don't know, but I mean, just think about it. In April 5th, 1933, the government made it illegal to own gold, right? So they forced people at $20 an ounce to turn in their gold certificates, their physical gold, whatever. And now we ain't had an accountants of Fort Knox in, I don't know, since the 60s or something like that, right? So we don't even really know if that gold is even still in there. Right. But it's just crazy that the government have been doing, they've been bullies since day one. These are the people that are not to be trusted because they're full of greed and power. They're not to be trusted. Yet you got in a situation like this going on, a pandemic, all of a sudden people jumping out there to say the government's right. No, they're not. Right now, studies are coming out saying that people who have gotten the shot are less safe when it comes to the Delta variant than people who got COVID and got over it. Why? Because the God force of this universe knew what the God force of this universe was doing when it created the human body. Because guess what? Herd immunity is listen, I get it. I got COVID. And now guess what? Just like the flu. If anybody gets the flu right now, guess what? It's like a day, right? You're not gonna have the flu for a week or whatever. You pretty much gonna have it for a day, unless you just got a seriously compromised immune system. You're only gonna have the flu for like a day, right? Because your body knows what to do. Your body's used to it. Your body knows all about it, right? Because and guess what? And you didn't. It's not because of masks. It's because you didn't wear a mask that your body knows all about the flu and the bacteria and all that stuff. You know, your hands touching this, that, and the other bacteria. We need that. We need our hands to touch the bacteria on different things. We need to breathe in different bacteria and stuff like that because our body is a computer system already and it recognizes different things, right? So with that in mind, then that's, I mean, I could go on and on, but Frank, you're right. The government is fucking liars. And we are silly.
And you know, this and our show just got tagged also by the COVID tag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just got tagged.
Oh, you knew they was gonna do that. You knew they
we got tagged. So we might as well go on in. Listen, people, you're gonna see a old ridiculous tag on here. Just disregard that tag, right? And just come on into the show. But that's what they're doing. They're tagging when you even mention COVID.
That's hilarious.
Right off the bat.
We made it. We made it. We got covert tagged.
So again, one of the things that I try to look at, and I'm gonna give the advice to the people, man. Listen, I don't care who you following. I don't care who you believe in. I don't care what church you go to, what mosque you go to, what synagogue you go to. I don't care what imam, what minister, preacher you're listening to. At the end of the damn day, if that Negro ain't talking about what's going on with this pandemic and advising people not to take it, you're listening to a person that done sold you the fuck out, right? I don't care if it's a politician. Right now, the biggest conversation right now is what's going on. They're getting ready to lock down the damn city. They're getting ready to lock you down. They're getting ready to force you to where you can't get on planes and buses. Let me tell you something that's interesting about China. China does this. China has a system like we have the system over here when we have the credit system where your credit score ain't high enough, you can't borrow money. China has a system very similar, but check this out. If your score is a certain level, you can't get on transportation. You can't travel to another province, which is another state or inside of China. Why? Without permission. You have to ride a bike or walk. Right. And so this is where we're going here. This is how you control the people, by controlling the people's ability to get wealth. So as long as you control the people's mind and their movement, you control the people. They can't afford to go anywhere else. They have to eat what you give them. They have to eat only in their area. So what do you think's going on when they start pushing this vaccine card and tell you can't get on a plane, you can't get on a bus or any transportation? You know what that does? That creates revolution. So what I'm pointing out here, I don't care who the hell they are. I don't care if it's Omar. I don't care what name you call out. If they ain't talking about what's going on right now, they done fucking already sold you out, or they're fucking afraid to. It's just that simple. Because right now the conversation is about what's taking place. There's a whole new paradigm going on right now. And if you ain't getting with it, you getting lost in it. It's just that simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, like I said, guys, we're going to have to run. But man, JC, it's been fantastic. John,
Appreciate
as always, it's fantastic.
Man,
You're gonna have Jay. You're gonna have to come back, bro. You're gonna have to come back. And I'm waiting on our interview. You got to do a Tipping Point Morning Show, Just Ask Joe and John Yah interview for your podcast, bro. Tell people where they can find you, where they can find your podcast, how they can figure you out.
For sure. So y'all can just look up the Jacie Comedy Show. We on all the streaming platforms, so Amazon Music, Apple, Spotify, etc., etc. We actually going to be streaming our event today on BAM TV. That's Bay Area Media Mogul TV on the Roku TV. So if you have a Roku at home or anywhere in the world, y'all can check out our live event today, Melly B's Block Party on BAM TV. And so, yeah, man, we're honored to be here anytime. I love to be back. And yeah, we have to talk maybe offline about getting y'all on the Jacie Comedy Show podcast this weekend or something.
Oh man, that'd be dope, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you know, because you do a voice double for Most Def as well, right? Because you sound just like Yasin Bey, Most Def.
Hey, that's an honor. You know, his podcast, The Midnight Miracle with Dave Chappelle and Talib Kweli, is probably the most incredible podcast ever produced in world history.
Absolutely agreed. It's dope. And I listen to it on Google Podcasts as well. So, fellas, it's been fantastic. You know, one day you're going to have to introduce us to we're going to do hashtag quotes on this, the brother in the background. He's been roaming through the whole show. But yeah, that's what's up. You know, Beard Gang, what's up?
Beard Gang. This is an author, meditator. He's, you know, out here in Cali doing some work with the companies out here, teaching them meditation practices and peace.
Oh man, that's dope. Okay.
Oh man, that's right up John's alley right there.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's up, man. Hey, obviously, we got a lot more to learn about each other as well. So until next time, fellas, once again, it's been fantastic. This has been another episode of the Tipping Point Morning Show. We'll see you next time, folks. Love you.
Brothers.
Peace. Right on.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now